What's up, folks? Gene Firewind here. We're actually going to do a little bit of Starbound stream today. It was supposed to start earlier. Had some issues with actually getting my account to log in, but we're streaming the Starbound directly from the start. So this includes the intro mission, which Gene's lazy ass sleeping in. Boop. Turn it. Gonna sit down here. Yeah, boop. There you go. That's how you properly start your morning. Oh, does it? Turn the lava lamp off. Boing. Now there's all sorts of little stuff that you can interact with. They kept the whole interact with stuff. You'll notice the little AI down here in the corner. Remember, you can open a door by hovering over it and pressing E. E is your action button for everything in Starbound. So that's what you do. They now have little icons for your quests and whatnot, so they let you know, hey, your stuff is here. So we're going to open up this locker and take our stuff out of it. This person wants to take a moment to chat. Soon you'll be a protector here. Madam Manipulators can disassemble all sorts of materials. Yeah. You can assemble some different worlds. Don't forget you're always here on Earth. Blah, 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 blah. Earth stuff. Pressing Q, pressing N, toggle inspect mode, control, let you move your camera up or down. Like this. So you can look all over the place. At this nifty custom-made building. I wish we had like tiles like this. So I'm gonna buy like this Ocumenade stuff, whatever. It's Ocumelon lemonade. Bird person got her pixel stolen. So, lazy day for Gene. He's gonna take his old sweet time walking. Now, we could pick up this flower and put it in our hair. Like that. But it's kind of derpy. I'm just gonna pick it up because it's something I can sell later. You're sure cutting it close, Gene. Way to be a scrub. Not show up for your own graduation with them. I like how there's like a cloak back there. There's just like a matter manipulator chilling on a shelf. Hashtag cutscene. I'll read this stuff out loud. My fellow protectors, today we come together to witness the protectorate grow. For over 500 years we have stood proud here on Earth, drawing together races of all kinds in the name of peace. Our task to protect the fellow beings, to support house and educate those that seek our aid, and to foster accord between those that aspire for it. Today, in the name of peace, we welcome our newest compatriots and present them each with our greatest tool. The matter manipulate... Wait, what was that? And I've seen enough hentai. What the... I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. You, graduate, take the manipulator. Run! You, dude who just barely showed up. It's not safe to remain here. Take the matter manipulator. You must proceed to the shuttle pad. Run like a bitch! Now our matter manipulator is enabled. We can take squares of stuff. Create a way for us to exit. So you can use this little, inspect mode to inspect stuff. It fits several people. At least 3. So use your R button to do stuff. See, I wish I could steal stuff here, because I would so totally steal that vending machine. I got blocks in the way here. Gotta get the blocks out the way. Oh, there we go. So, these are weapon chests in Starbound. You're going to be looking for them all over the bloody place. Yay, more pixels. I'm not sure why it feels the need to give us pixels. I wish I could steal that box, too. Attack the crap out of this tentacle. I've seen enough hentai. Here's our ship. The Starbound ship everybody's accustomed to. The one that everybody knows exists. Oh, hey, there's rope in this box. We're gonna jump over to it, get into it, and run like a bitch. Because that's how this game starts. It starts with you running like a bitch. I'm apparently unconscious. The cool thing is that this must be like a modified teleporter that just causes your character to sleep. Can't even access our lock thing. Well, you come over here and press E to reboot the system. I'm Sal, the ship-based AI. I manage and maintain your ship. I also program to offer information and advice. Earth was attacked by an unknown force and was subsequently annihilated. The ship's navigation systems were damaged in our escape. Our location is currently unknown. Explore the orbited planet. So, you can't actually access anything on your ship right now besides for your storage locker. You'll see that you have a feline friend. So, changes from the current Starbound, the way that it's currently set up, you'll notice that the bar up here is a lot different. It's only got 6 slots. I generally tend to put my torches on like 5 or something, just 5 or 6, one or the other, just because 5 is my center mouse button that my left hand just pretty much always sits on. I have a mouse that has a number pad on it, so I use 5 to switch to torches quickly, and then I'll use the actual keys to do everything else. Keys on my keyboard. R brings you to your matter manipulator mode, which I'm sure folks may or may not be familiar with. And N brings you to this inspection mode. This station allows me to communicate with Sail. This is a ship's locker. Blah, blah, blah. We'll hit R, switch back to our matter manipulator. The ships have pets on them now. Your pet loves you whenever you pet them. So, we're going to beam down to this currently orbited world. You actually have to click on teleporters to get the actions to go off. We're going to have a box sitting like right at the bottom of this. And it has a hammer that instantaneously makes our sword look like poop. Now that we're on a non-locked world, we can actually steal stuff. The more interesting the stuff, the harder it is to steal. So basically our starting goal, kind of, getting started, deep down to the surface using teleporter, search for supplies. Perhaps a means of fixing the ship. So I'm gonna get myself some wood. Gonna get myself some stone. I'm sure eventually at some point in the near future I'll be joined by Kwa, whose character is already somewhat developed, but that's okay. I'm just starting Gene here just so everybody can get an idea of what's going on. Generally I'm really good at cliff scaling. However, they did nerf the jump distance recently for the characters. I know I'm going to need some mud. I thought that was mud, it's not mud. Also, there's food. So, a few changes to the inventory system. Equipment goes here, blocks. This is actually like decor stuff. tools, basically anything used for crafting goes in here. And then the food down here. You'll see seeds go in here and just the normal foodstuffs. So in survival mode, you have to actually eat food, and food decays over time. So you'll notice how it says extremely well preserved. Not all foods are going to say that, but the eating of food gives you a full belly, which basically causes you to regenerate health. So as long as you eat food with a full belly, you will actually regenerate health. Which is why you see the little red pluses on my character now. Same rules apply for the matter manipulator. Left click breaks down blocks in the foreground, right click breaks down blocks in the background. You will notice that enemies are a lot more intelligent in the way that they attack you. They will actually chase you pretty reasonably far, and they actually do a reasonable amount of damage. Oh crap, I forgot to pick up the healing salves from the box. There's a box in the storyline segment right at the start that has healing salves in it, and I'm a herpaderp and didn't pick it up. So, key thing to remember, if you're in a spot where you're technically above, I guess, ground level, if you take out the background tiles, it will provide light in a cave. So, like, by doing this, if I walk away from this, now that cave section is somewhat lit. So, I highly suggest doing that. Not to mention, you're also going to find cave segments that have, or wall segments that have minerals in them. So sometimes it's good just to clear out that extra background tile just to give yourself a little bit of extra vision so you can see what's going on around you. As for right now, I'm just going to collect some plant fiber. Because luckily for us, they didn't change the recipe on this, but plant fiber still gets used to create healing salves. Ooh, it's a pretty big fiber. So that's lots of pieces there. These pieces of crap are just as dangerous as they used to be. That one apparently exploded into fireballs. Into a fireball. Okay. Finally went out. So I'm gonna get this. Am I still above? Yup, I am. Can't reach there. So I'm gonna make my way back up and above ground. Can I make that? Oh, hey. So there's an archaic energy source that Sal detected, and he basically says there's a very unlikely chance that you need to actually investigate it. Of course, Sal's chance calculations are all pretty much garbage at this. You're gonna get some parapleats. I highly suggest when you come across any kind of plant stuff that you pick it up. Just because, in general, it's good to have seeds so that you can plant them later. Just because food, even if it's not a necessity for a standard play, it is probably a good idea to try to pull food with you, just because it has a healing effect on it. So, like, if you haven't crafted healing salves, like C opens up your crafting menu. If you haven't actually made any healing salves, like I can make 22 apparently right now, I'm gonna make 15. Then you pretty much your only other source of recovering health in an early game is to find a piece of food and nom the crap out of it. So always pick foodstuffs up. It's super useful. Gonna make ourselves an inventor's table. This is the the replacement for the crafting table. Did you just craft an inventor's table? Estimate your chance of survival improving by 7.2%. Yay! Thanks, Al. I appreciate how exactly, you know, slowly cliff climbing. Oh, I hate these things. They're obnoxious. I'm just gonna really quickly sneak into this cave and get the rest of this plant fiber. Because healy stuff. Oh, there's Qua showing up in our user list. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, ow. Boop, boop, boop. So swords have a cooldown, so you'll notice that my sword flashes after I do the 3-strike attack. Because this sword goes on cooldown after you attack 3 times in a row, like back to back to back. So you kind of have to be a little bit wary. Sometimes it's better just to go 1, 2, 1, 2, and have your weapon come back up a little bit faster. So there's lots more coal. Since this is a big vein here, we'll pick up a couple more pieces. Also, some iron ore. So that's cool. You bunny. So seeds totally stack. Food stuff does not stack anymore. So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing, because essentially if you have food in your inventory and you don't currently have a full belly, it's pretty much good for you to eat something. So there's cotton now, and it's actually part of the armor development cycle, so pretty much I try to pick up cotton pieces whenever I get the opportunity to get cotton seeds, and I plant cotton seeds on my ship just in the early game so that way I can get the cotton from it. We're going to get these iron ores out of here. The other little thing that I generally tend to have on my bar is whatever dirt the planet is created out of. I try to keep dirt in my inventory so that way I can place dirt down and make staircases for walls like this. Because of course there cannot be just a direct path up this hill. I'm actually protected from this thing by that little itty bitty hill that's there. These out of the way. Then I'll go over some of the other changes as I progress through and get stuff done. There's changes to the way the text work. There's changes to the way the mana manipulator works for upgrades. I'll go over those as I get to them. Oh, there's some rice. Not sure why my E wouldn't let me pick it up, but then some more cotton for us. Gonna jump right past these guys because I want nothing to do with them. Oh, there's some more rice seeds. For some strange reason, there's already a healy thing there. Explodes into bombs. Oh yay, healing. Alright, some cotton there. That is a plant. Okay, it is. Okay, so we're going to come up upon one of the biggest first changes to this game versus the stable build, and that is that the gateway is on your starter planet. My scans are picking up an unknown radio signal around this archaic energy source. If you've picked up this message, you must have found an ancient gateway. Please use it to come find me. You can power up the gate with core fragments. So the core fragments that we used to use to upgrade our ship and the stable build are now actually used to upgrade or to repair the gateway. Now, multiple planets can have gateways, and each gateway has to be powered separately from one another. So just because you power one gateway doesn't mean that you'll warp to another universe and be able to power another gateway. That each gateway will need to be powered all on its lonesome, and thank goodness, because I did not want to have to waste money waste resources making a fire. Now, the game gave one to me. You are the 714th billion person to discover fire. Oh hey, I got a steak. So, just as a little pointer, now that I have a fire, I'm going to throw this down here. So this menu works for cooking foods. It's kind of a somewhat replacement for a cooking table. Cooked foods are going to last longer in your inventory than uncooked foods. Certain foods like rice actually stacks in your food thing because it's actually considered a cooking ingredient. So rice sometimes is the one thing that you want to essentially get into your inventory and leave it be. Steak and corn are all generally going to be good things for you to convert into cooked food because it's going to make them last a little bit longer. Rice, since it's an ingredient, will never go bad. So that's a thing. I really hate these things. So we found the gateway, and now we need core fragments. So that's a thing.
Which character do you go on?
I made Jean. Specifically for streaming purposes. So we got a box here with all sorts of fun stuff. Got ores of all sorts. You guys are going to notice me taking all sorts of weird stuff like tombstones and boxes and all sorts of stuff. I'm essentially just taking decor items. Just because when we finally get to the outpost, you can sell them for gold, and it means, just having that little bit of extra gold gives you the ability to get through your, upgrades faster, and ow, fall damage is a thing. And in case you were unaware, weapons have separate firing modes, left trigger and right trigger, for most of them have different things. Your starting sword does like a little sword spin. A la, I don't know, like Legend of Zelda. Link, he'll come to a town, come to save the Princess Zelda. Yep. I remember that stuff. I'm that old. I'm gonna laugh because YouTube will totally put a copyright notice on this because of me singing that little bit of that song.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be hilarious. And I'm gonna be like, nah, that doesn't really infringe copyright. It was more of a parody. Anyway, more copper ore. So, people are going to realize I'm lazy. I don't like splunking. Mostly because there's lots of darkness when you're splunking, and your character will fall, and I hate falling uncontrollably in video games. I'm sure a lot of people do. So, that's a thing. This is a really tall tree, so I'm going to chop this sucker down. The only concern is that I saw how tall that tree was, and I see that I'm just seeing the tops of these trees. So, healing set. Eat some food. We're going to eat some of this. We're going to go into our inventory and stop being derpy and put healing salves on 3. We're going to use one of those. So, FYI, for those of you that are playing the home game, each individual healing item has its own cooldown. So, salves versus bandages versus red stim pact, they all have their own separate cooldown. So you can stack them, which is incredibly useful for boss fights. I hate pulling. So wood, pardon the pun, is super useful. I like when trees are right next to each other like that, because it makes it so much easier to get wood. Balance. Oh, hey. Well, that person's up there sleeping. I'm totally stealing their seeds. And I may possibly also steal some of their stuff. If they have stuff to steal. So, key thing about this game is that you can't kill NPCs anymore. However, NPCs that are awake and attentive to the fact that you're there will get pissed off at you taking their stuff. And if you're in a town where there are guards, the guards will totally kill you. And when I say the guards will totally kill you, I mean, my character who had, like, tier 2 armor got one-shotted by a town guard. Like, they mean business. They're pretty serious. So that's the thing. You disconnected.
Yes, I did. I just got a phone call. I gotta go.
Okie dokie. So, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a little bit of that. We're gonna bake those other 2 potatoes we have, or other potato in our inventory. And now there's this nice little reorganize button down here, and it organizes your stuff really nicely. So I'm going to eat a piece of popcorn. Now we've got some tomatoes too. We can make roasted tomatoes, or cooked tomato, which is cool. I'm actually going to steal this cooking stand, because that's convenient. And, interesting. There's a well here. But the well has no water in it. Why does the well have no water in it? Probably because it's got a box at the bottom. So you guys will notice that as I'm digging down, that I have a very particular dig pattern. This is what I call a safe pattern. It's basically 8 squares underneath the previous layer, and remove the corner. So we'll do this. We remove this. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that basically just makes it so that way you don't have to take fall damage when you're going down. And it's a nice clean way to give yourself the ability to jump back up immediately after you've finished digging to whatever it is you're trying to dig to. So I'm going to try sticking another torch in here to see if I found water yet. I did. I don't know if I can clear that. Oops. I'm actually going to put that back. Hashtag dirt. Well, darn. I was hoping that there'd be a box down here, but there isn't. Oh! I spoke too soon! Oh, all sorts of stuffs. Including a teleporter core, which is extremely useful. So we got ourselves a 1.9 gun. So I didn't really tend to equip guns next to my healing salve slot, at least until I get some sort of extra healing item to put next to it, because that's really kind of an important thing. The other thing you see we picked up is a teleporter core. Teleporter cores, you need one to construct one of these plus 3,000 pixels to construct a teleporter core. And you'll see right now I'm at 616 pixels. But that's not until after the teleporter store has opened up back in the outpost. It is not immediately open like it previously was in other iterations of Starbound. So you actually have to properly... Ooh, is this sugarcane? Oh, nice. Listen, Mr. Monster Dude. I understand your enthusiasm, but I'd really appreciate it if you stopped trying to attack me now. Oh. Yeah, this is actually the first planet that I've encountered that has sugarcane on it. Oh, is that cocoa? That is cocoa. Nice. Cocoa seeds. Yay! So now we can make chocolate. Both of these enemies are aggressive. What the frig? I call BS. Oh, hey. Found a mine. So we're actually going to go into this mineshaft. So FYI, mines tend to have all sorts of cool stuff in them, including core fragments in boxes. So mines are definitely a good place to go. I'm going to continue with my stealing decor items crap. I'm going to leave lights. Platform's going to go, though. Especially this platform. This platform's there for no reason. It's Batty. My name is Batty. Life is Ratty. Oh my god, there's a whole crapload of them. So you'll notice single sword swipes recover faster than multiple sword swipes. Also, these bats are douchebags. I really don't like them. I think that's actually sitting on top of these things. So I will continue to disassemble stuff instead of, and eventually, see, this is actually somewhat useless, because if we just remove the background tiles, we'd have light in here. I did, however, also remove the platform that is required for me to scale this. Boop, 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 boop. So I will actually steal this lantern. Once we get below ground level, which I think we're actually pretty close to ground level, based on the background behind the tiles. So I think probably once I get down here, this will be below ground level. So I will still need to leave the lights here. Apparently we are still... Much as the previous versions, attacking with a gun drains your little green energy bar. Quite light outside right now, so I will probably throw down a torch or two. Okay, so something else that was added into this is a room like this. So this is a sub-boss room, I guess I would call it. And you actually will get an achievement for successfully beating the boss in this room. So, stun hitting an enemy allows you to walk through them. Of course, getting hit yourself also stun hits you, which allows you to walk through enemies as well. I totally just died. So we're gonna skip the respawn animation and beam down. So that was actually pretty far over to the left, so I'm gonna actually go to the right this time, because I feel like we'd probably get to it faster going this way. And I probably should have, chances are I probably should have actually there we go, there's the box. I knew there had to be one here somewhere. Take that candle. So these are actually stacked grave markers. There might actually be more than one box here. Are there more than two? I think that looks like that may be it for the boxes. Yep, that may be it. Get that seed. Get that seed. Oh, hey, a starstorm. You're a piece of... I have a feeling our mine entrance is like right over here. Son of a beep. Could also be completely wrong, and our mine entrance could be nowhere near where we currently are. Oh, I was wrong. It's right here. I was wrong the second time. It's right here. I'm actually okay with this because it's daylight now, and I'm gonna come down here and kill this boss dude because he's a jerk. Now, I haven't actually died to a boss before in my other characters, so I don't know if they recover their health or not. They do not. And he drops core fragments. And I think there should be core fragments in some of these boxes, but... Luke owes me a steak dinner. So I'm going to look over some of the drops that I've gotten, just to do some stuff and explaining. So that's a lightning hammer, that's 8 damage per swing, this one's 12, so we're still good here. There's tech cards, so tech cards are used to upgrade your techs when you finally get there. Manipulator module upgrade components. So we're going to go a little bit about this. The manipulator upgrades are actually done through this manipulator menu now. So you just go over to your right hand bar, you click up there, and then your upgrade stuff is here. If you want to see how much it costs to upgrade a particular type of thing, you just click on that particular thing, and it shows you the exact cost of upgrading stuff. I generally try to upgrade power first, just because being able to destroy blocks faster just means you can get through stuff quicker. So that's definitely one of the first things I try to upgrade. I'm going to go through and take all these torches. Tall wooden torch. 1, because they're worth money later. 2, because I actually could use the vision that they provide if I need to use them. So we know this room is empty. We know this. So this is a... pretty much goes directly to a dead end, or does it? Doesn't... Oh, actually, there's silver up there. We are definitely interested in that. Silver, gold, early game are really good. If you can manage to get a bunch of silver and gold bars into, like, your first run back into town, you actually will have yourself set in a pretty good position to upgrade your techs really fast. I can actually go into the menu and craft some more torches before I remove that from my menu. How many can I make? I don't think I need 19. Let's go with another 8. Because it's 4 torches per, and I don't feel like I'll go through that many torches that fast. So as you can see, minerals do appear on the background tiles, much as they did in the current stable build. Wow, there's a lot of these down there. Kind of hoping that we'd find some more silver or something along those lines. I mean, we did get some free copper. I don't want to go exploring too far. Just giving a quick look around to see if there's any special. Any of those little specialty mazes. I don't see any specialty maze around here. Or an alternate dimension, or whatever it is. The little dimensional rift portals that exist. something that you'll see that I do that as I move back to where I came from when exploring a zone like this is I will take all of the light sources. Mine and the ones that were left behind. It just signals to me, hey, I've been here. There's no light. Don't need to go this way. Okay. Honestly, I don't think we need platforms here at all. Nope. We'll leave that stuff there for now. Throw a torch down here, throw a torch down there. So I try to avoid as much as possible taking stuff out of boxes because there's currently a strange crash incident that's happening with the game if you accidentally close a box while it's still pulling the items into your inventory. So in general, I just disassemble boxes from the foreground. Once I'm done going through boxes and decor items and everything, I'll then go through and see if I have anything that needs to be checked out. Well, I don't need to come back up here, so I can actually just disassemble this hallway. Timber and wood planks and stuff, so I think you can actually use timber to construct stuff. Does it change timber or wood planks? Are those different things? I don't remember. So let's see if any of my food is actually starting to spoil. I don't know if I have anything that will be set to spoil yet, but I'm gonna leave this steak right here and show you guys what happens when food spoils. Just so that way you have a little bit more knowledge when you come into the game, and make sure that you keep an eye on exactly which foods it is that you're eating. That and that and the door. And they're actually, I'm not sure why the game automatically does this, but it puts platforms up staircases, and I take the platforms if I can, just because it makes life easier. Just means later, if I need to use a platform for X, Y, or Z, I have a platform readily available, because I stole it from the dungeons. Get on the staircase, you dolt. Really? You're not gonna pick that up? Oh. Okay. Take my torch with me. Take this torch with me. And now we can go this way. See, I thought... nope, okay. Don't need that there. I thought that was the main entrance. I was wrong. Okay. So we're gonna head this direction. So I generally suggest whenever you come across tents or campfires, generally bring the tents and campfires back with you. It's always good. It's a good little combination. Like, if I intentionally do take some fall damage here, let me. There we go. Do that a couple times. So, just a standard healing salve heals relatively quickly. However, if you, just to kind of show off the combining of healing effects here, I'm going to throw this tent back down. Or maybe I won't throw the tent back down because it's not wide enough yet. Boop. There we go, now we'll throw the tent back down. So, you can kind of see how quickly the healing salve is healing. Now, if I go into a tent too, it's just going to make it heal even faster. So sometimes you can actually out-heal the damage that you'll take if you use healing salves, and then like a tent or something along those lines. So I suggest always having one with you whenever you're doing stuff, splunking, fighting a boss, whatever. Ow. Have a drink. Just because they're going to help you recover your health just ever so slightly faster. I hear bats. I can hear you, bat. So big fish like this one here will actually come after you when you go swimming. So be careful, because fish are dangerous. Fish are friends, not food. Unless, of course, they're trying to eat you. Then you're food for fish. There's that bird. Okay, I'll throw a torch up here. Throw a torch up here. Whew. Some of the mining tunnels can actually extend pretty far. So that's why I always try to go through as much of the mining tunnels as I can. Alright, so that's a pretty big drop-off. I'm gonna lose my torch. Son of a bitch. I'm not gonna go that way. Maybe I'll get my torch back if I go this way. Or I won't. Just curiosity's sake. That's actually not that bad. Still don't see any specialty gateways. Not that I'm going to take it right away, but I will make a mental note if I find one right now. For the challenge gateways for the alternate dimensions, you pretty much want to make sure that your character has techs. Because without them, you will not be able to complete them. And I don't mean like, oh, they're difficult, like they're going to be hard. You actually, with the nerf to jumping that they did in the most recent patch, you actually physically cannot jump the ledges. It's impossible. So you need to make sure that you have text before you go to do one of those doors. So I'm thinking that that's the end of this cave, or the end of this system, which could be bad news for us, because we did not get 20 core fragments off of that. So it may not be a good thing. I may have to teleport one of my other characters here just to make this go a little bit smoother. Fuck you, fishy. Fuck you, fishy. Yeah, I win. Hope that maybe that this water tunnel leads to someplace safe that also has items. This should be part of our miner's cave. sure why I'm not picking up that. Oh, I know why I'm not picking up that. Because my food inventory is full. Here's really hoping that there's more miner stuff down here. Well, those are still mine bats. Which means that this is still considered part of the mining dungeon. I'm, however, concerned about how far down this slope is, so I'm going to make myself a staircase. So FYI to folks who are familiar with the way that things look, and that is actually an alien tomb. Bye-bye. So we're actually going to go down to that as best we can. Torch. There's no box here. I'm baffled. Ooh, I am, however, getting rewarded with additional silver for my exploration. So I will take that. Grab this iron ore. Gargle, gargle, gargle. Jean probably could have used a shower. Anyway, so we'll let that go. For now, I'm going to keep exploring. At least until I find some place where I don't feel safe going. Which, I mean, really... only when I find something like this, where I cannot see the ground underneath where I would land. Well, I see that ground down there, but I am not interested in going down there. In the least. So I think I'm going to turn back and recover my torches as I go back. For the most part, you generally don't re-explore worlds that you've already been to. Because pretty much once you clear the surface and splunk relatively, well, not really small, but splunk a certain percentage of the actual map, you're pretty much done with that particular world. This isn't like, Terraria, where, you can be on a certain planet for a really long period of time. I actually find myself not staying on planets for very long at all in this game. Unless I actually have a vested interest in it, like there's a particular resource that grows on it naturally, or I have actually built a base on it. Those are things that would keep me in a particular world. Now, this is something that's somewhat different. This, which used to be sand, is actually now loose silt. Sand and loose silt actually have the same color, which is kind of obnoxious. Probably should change silt to like gray or something along those lines, but it's not my game, so I won't pass judgment on them. At least not too harsh. I found a bandage on one of those, so that's good. Finish off our staircase that we started before. Right on back up here. Now, I am not entirely sure exactly how far down this room goes. That is the farthest I can drop a torch. It's actually a relatively small room. It's not really worth the time it's going to take me to get down there. Oh, never mind. I stand corrected. I see why that room is worth me investing time in it now. What is that? That was coal. That was a coal block. So we'll see. Is anything starting to spoil yet? Oh, here we go. We've got some stuff that'll probably go bad soon. So we'll switch that out. Oops. Don't mind me, I'm a nutcase. Totally dig myself into a hole. Lol. Pardon the pun. I am gonna get my torches back. So unfortunately, this did not have any more mining stuff in it, which is not good for us, because, oh, screw you, fishy. Because we have exhausted our dungeon and have not yet found all of our core fragments. Which means I'm probably, at some point soon, probably going to end the stream at around 4:30. I will probably go and try to get the core fragments offline. If I find anything interesting, I'll record a video and post it on YouTube for you guys to watch. Yeah, that's probably it. That is definitely it for this dungeon. I don't foresee any other locations. I think that's the end of that other hallway. So that is definitely it for this particular dungeon. Now I will go through and take care of our crafting stuff, just so I can show you guys the changes to crafting that have taken place, which is actually also part of the reason why I went and picked up these platforms, because now I have 2 floors, yay! So we're gonna go ahead and throw down our sleeping bag. I think, will it fit here? No, it won't. Poop. Will it fit up here if I turn it this way? Nope. Poop. Okay, so we'll throw the sleeping bag there, and we're going to throw our little crafting table up here after we move the light slightly to the side. I wish your ship lights didn't actually cause interference with foreground objects, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and make a primitive furnace, which consists of a campfire, mud, and cobblestone, all things you should be getting. We have the foraging table, which is how you get your food supplies and whatnot. You have your spinning wheel, which you need some rope, timber, and cobblestone to create, which is used to create fabric materials, also used in the construction of armor and whatnot. And you have the wooden workbench, which is used for creating... Shoot, I should know this. Like decor items. So that's a thing. So yeah, wooden workbench used to produce materials and objects needed to build a settlement. There you go. It actually says it there if I had bothered to read it. So we're trying to get ourselves 8 iron bars to create an anvil. So we're going to drop our furnace down right here. We're going to put down our other workbench stations too. We'll go through them one at a time. So the furnace is just as the furnace was previously, except you actually have to wait for the smelting time now. It's relatively short, so it doesn't take too long unless you're creating a huge number of bars, in which case it's going to take you a little bit of time. But in general, it's not that bad. So we have 20 iron bars that we could forge, which will probably get us pretty close, if not up to where we need to be to create our stuff. I'm just trying my best to give myself enough materials to create the first set of armor, at least for you guys. So we're going to go back to this crafting table now that we have iron bars, and we're going to craft ourselves an anvil. It's actually more like an anvil workstation. This little anvil station is going to go down here for me. You can use it from up here. So the first set that we're going to get is our scout set. As you can see, it requires 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 iron bars. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 woven fabric, and 1 string. So we're going to need to come over here to our fabric station. We're going to create 1 string, and we need 12 fabric. So that's cool. So now we can come down here. We can create our scouter's chest guard. We can create our scouter's greaves. And we can create our scouter's visor, also known as a scouter. DBZ reference. Yeah, that's right. Get there. I'm not sure why when you technically, and this is something that should probably be fixed, when you change directions, your scouter actually flips which side of your head it's on. I know that's something small, and it's really kind of trivial to point out, but this is something that like a polished game probably should kind of keep an eye on. Just something simple like this shouldn't be a thing. I think they just need to make the mouthpiece go to the other side and, make it not be derpy. Alright, so the second one, which is the wooden workbench, allows you to create all sorts of different stuff. Beds, chairs, tables, shelves. You can actually even create blocks here too. As you pick stuff up, you'll learn recipes for creating blocks and whatnot. And then our last table is where we create our supplies for farming. So we're going to get ourselves 60 timber, and we need 1 more string, and we're going to create ourselves a hoe and a wooden watering can. So now we have the supplies we need to take care of pretty much everything in regards to our first real task. We're going to throw our scouter's equipment on, the rest of our scouter's equipment on, because the headpiece already appeared. I'm going to keep Gene in his Firewind Entertainment outfit. We have our hoe and our basket. We have a whole bunch of little tiny items in our inventory. This hammer actually has uppercut and does 13 damage. I might actually switch to the uppercut hammer, just because it's a displacement ability, which is really useful. But we'll see. Now that I have a second healing item, I'll put that in the second slot up there. We'll throw our gun on 6. And take care of throwing all of our extra junk. So this is what I do with junk. I don't use climbing ropes, I don't use the flashlight. I'm not going to use that hammer. I think... not for now. I don't use flares. I've got 4 tech cards and 7 manipulator upgrade pieces. I think I'm waiting for 8. Yep, I'm waiting for 8 to complete that upgrade. We'll throw some of these decor items that we don't really need in here. Honestly, none of the saplings were really kind of any use to me, so I'm probably just going to scrap them. Like, none of them were any kind of special tree or anything. I forgot to put my light back up. We've got all sorts of bars. We've got core, or teleporter core. The little petals are used to create dyes. I don't really care about the dyes. Cotton can go in here. This can go in here. Leather can go in there. The sharpened tooth can go in there. Carcasses can go in there. We're going to keep our minerals and our fiber in our inventory. This is our food. FYI, if you want to feed your pet, you can literally just throw food on the floor and your pet will eat it. Doesn't necessarily mean your pet's going to like it. I don't know if it'll eat the raw fish. No. I can, however, grab back out this box. Where is that? There it is. I'm going to throw this bad boy right up here. So I have a cooking station. Cooked tomatoes. Here, kitty. Will you eat cooked fish? Do you like cooked fish? No? Well, get over it, kitty. So, yeah, so we'll probably, I guess I have another hour and a half left of streaming time for you guys. So let's actually splunk down to the core. I mean, we kind of got ourselves a little bit of armor. We've got 25 ASD now. So we can actually do some stuff. Of course, I could just do a really quick save load and get this stuff. Well, I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to take a quick little break. We'll do a quick little commercial-ish kind of break thing, and I'll be back and I will have the core fragments for you. So stay tuned, and we'll be back after the break.